you about leadership and self-care. The two things that you need to know if you're going to be a leader is self-care and being self-aware. So I'm going to take you on this quick journey. So imagine that you're on a plane and you're going to your favorite destination. And as you are in the air, you feel the turbulence. Now, remember when you were on the ground, this lady or gentleman gave you this important announcement: turn off your phones and remember this. If something happens and these little masks come from the ceiling or the top of the plane, remember to put yours on first before you help the person beside you. But we probably wasn't listening to that message because we wanted to make our last phone calls. We wanted to do those type of things first. So when you go back to self-care, I want you to think about that it's important for you to take care of yourself in order for you to be a leader. Self-care is kind of defined as taking care of yourself in one's daily activities, making sure that you are mentally, emotionally, physically, and relationally sound. So when you use those things, you kind of look at how coping strategies plays a role in that. It helps you with anxiety, it helps you with stress, and those things are really important being a leader. So I want to take you on this other journey with myself. Is I became a leader of a student organization. And part of that student organization, we went into low income areas working with youth on how to be advocates for their community. The two core things we wanted them to get is leadership skills and how to be stakeholders in their own community. Because remember, being a stakeholder is how change happens. So as the leader of this group, I didn't come on time. I didn't come prepared, and I procrastinated a lot. So guess what happened? I got a nice invitation to my boss's office, and probably the only time I was on time. And she said, "You're fired." And I was like, wow, how could this happen? Well, as I started to assess myself, I realized that I was a full-time student, I had a full-time job, and I didn't have the coping strategies on how to deal with that. And being a leader of this student organization, those things were really important. So now that I look back, I think about, okay, well, how could I have done that differently? Well, I started to think about the coping strategies. I started to think about the things that I can do to be healthy in my life. I thought about the things that would not be useful, such as using drugs, participating in a lot of drinking, staying up all night, not preparing. And when I got those things under control, because that's part of being self-aware, when I got those things under control, I could now practice self-care. So what I want to leave you with today is one key thing, self-care. But I want you to remember the latter part of that word, care. C is for coping strategies. A is for assessing your needs. R is for reevaluating those needs. And E is for living every day at your best. If you're not at your best, you can't be a good leader. And being a good leader is making sure that you're self-aware. You give self-care to yourself on a continual basis. You can't be there for other people if you can't be there for yourself. So at the end, remember care and being self-aware.